Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, and you know, just a simple like will do. A like and a share is how you can support the stream absolutely for free. All right, so feel free to do so. And please don't forget to double check and make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you haven't been receiving notifications, because ScrewTube unsubscribes people every day. All right, so let's get into it. Nessie X, Auntie Leah is here, Claudette, Anita Harrell, Fat Boo. All right, let's get this party started. Danielle, Reggie is here, OG Patrice, Donna's in the house, new mom. All right, congratulations, honey. All right, Aquarius MC is here, Jeff ATL. All right, let's get this party started. Cherokee Descendant Dale. Sandra Love is here. All right, so shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Y'all know I love me some you. So let's get this party started. Before we get into it, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. And then we're going to talk about Diddy, because Diddy is getting sued again.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so with that all been said, don't forget, you can purchase 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's talk about Diddy. Diddy is being sued again by another Tony Busby client by the name of John Doe. And this man says that Diddy orally raped him. Now, remember, yesterday there was a man who sued, said that he was 17 when he met Diddy back in 2012 at Club Soho, where Diddy raped him from the back door. And so now this man, another John Doe, says that Diddy did the same thing to him, but orally. Okay, Diddy had a one-night stand with a street performer. Problem is, the guy says he was raped, at least according to a new lawsuit. Now, the Bad Boy Records founder is being sued by a John Doe who claims Diddy orally raped him and assaulted him from the back door after spiking his drink. Now, in the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, the man claims that he was singing and playing a guitar on the street outside a popular Los Angeles nightclub in November of 2022, when a man claiming to be a talent scout for Diddy invited him to a Diddy party. Let me tell you all something. You know that whole little spiel that Diddy gave when he gave that fake bogus arse apology to Cassie? The one where he said, I was in a dark place. And then he talked about how he got counseling and all those things and he was a changed man. Well, that's interesting because that video was filmed in 2016 and we have a myriad of lawsuits as of late that happened after that date. So Diddy, yeah, he was in a dark place. And sadly for him, that dark place is where he resides. Okay, that's where his demons reside. But let me continue. Now it goes on to say the John Doe claims that he was driven to a private home where Diddy invited him to sit down, have a drink, and talk about his music aspirations. He says as the conversation progressed, he complimented Diddy's necklace and Diddy asked if he wanted to see more of Diddy's jewelry collection. I would have immediately thought that was a setup. Why is this man inviting me, a complete stranger that he just met, into his home, but also showing me expensive jewelry? I would have definitely felt like something was afoot. You know, but that's just me. I'd have been like, is he trying to set me up? Okay, does he think I'm going to try to rob him or something? What's really going on? I would have had several questions is all I'm saying. Now, I may not have been thinking along the lines of him being a whole serial predator who was about to commit rape and assault, but I would have felt like something was a little strange about the whole scenario. All right, so anyway, the guy claims that Diddy took him to a private room where John Doe suddenly felt drowsy, off balance, and slightly euphoric, despite consuming only one drink. Now he says the room had no jewelry and Diddy bluntly asked, have you ever sucked a D? I'm sorry, I didn't read this before I came on here, guys. Whew. How many of you remember someone ever asking you that? Ladies and gentlemen. This is all nefarious, okay? It's all I'm saying. New mom said horrific. I mean, what world do we live in? But let me continue. So he said, have you ever sucked a D before? Now he claims he told Diddy no, and Diddy responded, you should try it, and then exposed his cucumber. Okay, let's continue. The guy claims that Diddy forced him to perform oral, you know what, grabbing the guy's face and forcefully putting the cucumber in his mouth. Now he says he became more incapacitated from the illegal substances Diddy gave him, and Diddy undressed him and assaulted him from the back door before leaving the room. This is crazy. These people are not really fighting back. These people are really scared, it seems. Honey, Diddy would have gotten, let me just be quiet. Now, the next morning, the guy claims he woke up at the house to someone giving him an IV, and he was driven back to the nightclub and dropped off, never to hear from Diddy again. Now, he claims he suffered pain, mental anguish, emotional torment, humiliation, and shame as a result. And he's going after Diddy for damages. Honey, I'd have been going after Diddy a long time ago. I'm talking about I'd have been like that dude, Liam Neeson, and Taken, okay? I'd have been hunting him down, everything. I would not have rested. I wouldn't have gotten a moment's rest until he got some type of recompense, okay? I'm so serious. Now, Tony Busby, the Texas attorney represented 120 alleged Diddy victims, filed the suit. Now, attorneys for Diddy say to TMZ, as we've said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every blah, blah, blah. Okay, so of course they're going to say he didn't do it. This is all just so egregious. I mean, how many times did Diddy humiliate these men and do all sorts of terrible things to them, allegedly? But I think he did a lot of these things. I think that most of these people are probably telling the absolute truth. I think that Diddy is just a sick-minded individual who's a narcissist with sociopathic tendencies, who feels that he's always been able to get what he wants and that nobody should ever dare to tell him anything different. Okay, and remember, there's been some that have worked with him that said that there were consequences when you told him no. Okay, I have no doubt in my mind that these people were afraid for their lives, that Diddy used his big buff bodyguards, okay, and his minions to frighten and intimidate these people, and specifically after allegedly giving them illegal substances so that they were not in their right frames of mind, and also which made them, incapacitated to a point where they really couldn't fight back or try to even escape because they couldn't control their body or their body functions or movements. This is all just crazy, honey. I'm sorry. This sounds like a really bad horror movie. Okay, that's what it sounds like. They should turn this into a horror movie called The Diddler. Okay, that's what it sounds like, a damn movie that's not where a bunch of people, just go off to this fancy mansion thinking they're going to have a good time at a party, the night of their lives. And one by one, they turn up graped from the back door, okay, and given illegal substances. That should be the theme of a movie because that's exactly what it sounds like. It's real life. But, this is allegedly what Diddy was doing. This is allegedly what Diddy was doing. I absolutely believe this is what he was doing. Dirty devil. Oh, Diddy is evil, honey, with a capital E. And that rhymes with a D, and that stands for devil, honey, because that's who he is. Okay, that's who he is. Diddy is Lucifer himself, honey. That's the only thing that Courtney Burgess didn't lie about when he said Diddy was the devil. He absolutely is. I'm convinced. Okay, anybody thinks any different, we need to talk about it. But anyway, speaking of that, let's talk about 50 Cent and Big Meech, because you guys know that I told you on yesterday how 50 was done with Big Meech and even done with Lil Meech. And here's the thing. Lil Meech was like, what did I do? I've only been there for you or this and that, whatever. You act like I'm your enemy. Well, sir, now you are his enemy. You see, that's how it works. Your father crossed 50. Your father literally bits the hand that fed you and him. And so now if 50's cutting off Big Meech, he has to cut off Little Meech because you two are one and the same. Your family. And family's going to stick with family. So if he can't trust your dad, well, why would he think that he can trust you? That's how that goes. Unfortunately, casualties of every war. Okay, so sorry, but quite frankly, that BMF show may not have another season. And if it does have another season, Little Meech might not be starring in it. Because if 50's still helping Little Meech, that's going to trickle down and help Big Meech, which I'm sure at this point, 50 damn sure doesn't want to do because he's mad. And I would be mad too, like I told you guys. And here's the thing. I saw somebody, this gives you a sense. Sometimes I like to read comments, not just on my page, but on other people's channels about specific videos or whatever, because I like to see how people think. Because there's a lot of people on the internet that just are not that smart. There's a lot of obtuse people and simple-minded people on the internet. Now, I'm sure we all know this. But I literally read someone left a comment. It was a man, too, a black man. He left a comment saying something along the lines of 50, Big Meech doesn't owe 50 nothing. He don't owe 50 no loyalty. He don't owe him nothing. Well, sir, you likely are not loyal to anyone and probably not even to yourself. Because here's the thing. How does he not owe 50 anything when 50 was helping him while he was in prison, when 50 made it possible for him to leave prison and have a source of income, when 50 paid for his son to have acting lessons so that his son could play the role of him in the show that 50 is producing? Now, I'm sorry. If you don't think that that man owes 50 something, there's something wrong with you. And I have to question what type of loyalty, if any, does that person have to anyone other than himself? And like I said, he probably doesn't even have loyalty to himself. But my thing is, what did Rick Ross ever do for Big Meech when he was in prison? Was he sending him money, putting anything on his books? Was he trying to have things ready for him when he got out? Did he do anything for his son or any of his other children? Here's the thing. Rick Ross knew that 50 Cent would get upset if Meechy had anything to do with Rick Ross. This was very calculating and methodical as far as I'm concerned for Rick Ross to get up there, try to hook up and link up with Big Meech, give him some coins, and then talk about having this party. You knew what he was doing. He was trying to piss 50 off. He was acting like a bitch. See, because that's the kind of things women do. Women do vindictive things like that, little petty stuff like that. But Rick Ross, he was acting like with feminine energy when he did that because he was trying to stir the waters. He was trying to start some bullshit. And that's exactly what he's done. But see, Big Meech should literally be mad at himself and Rick Ross because now look what it's costing him. And does he think that Rick Ross is going to swoop in and save the day and give him the money that he's now going to be losing because 50's not going to be fooling with him or his son? I bet you Rick Ross is going to do that. I bet you he is going to do that. And here's the thing. I'm not too sure that Big Meech didn't snitch because here's what I think. From what 50 said, it sounds to me like maybe Meech himself didn't snitch, but sounds like he told the lady that was his bestie, Tammy Cowens. It seems like he possibly told her to snitch. That's what it sounds like. Nonetheless, in his response, it just seems like he's reading a script. It comes across as very disingenuous. It's not really an accurate denial, in my opinion, or I wouldn't say accurate. It's not really an adequate denial, in my opinion. Now, I'm going to play what he said for you without interruption, but then I'm going to play the one with interruption because 50's in the background talking real slick.
I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family to come out to the Ahmadiyyah Arena, February 13th.
I don't believe a word of it. Now, he's trying to encourage people to come to that party, but I don't believe a word of it. And let me just show you all something else, because I know you all probably didn't notice this, but y'all know that I study body language, okay? Now, I'm going to play it again real quick, and I want you all to glance down at his hands. You see, I'm a person, I talk with my hands a lot too. You know, it's just something that I do sometimes, and I try not to do it, but it's a habit. But what I notice about him talking with his hands, you see, when people talk with their hands and they move their hands to the rhythm of the words, like for emphasis, like if they, whatever they're saying, their hands are doing this, matching the rhythm of the words, that's usually someone who's very nervous or possibly lying. Okay, and not sure of themselves in the moment because what they're saying is not coming from the heart. It's something that they're reading like a script, and they're not sure about how they're coming across with the script. If they're being believable, or if they're coming across as people can tell you're reading a script. The nervousness of it. Now, I want you all to pay attention because I'm going to show it again and just look at his hands. Every time he says something, his hands move to the rhythm of his words. Pay attention.
I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family to come out to the Ahmadiyyah Arena, February 13th.
Well, y'all saw that. Y'all saw that, right? That's why I don't believe a word of it. Claudette said fidget, okay? New mom said politicians do that all the time. Mm-hmm. Yes, now, so Experiment 3693 said he sits like a biatch. Pretty Wing said he's reading something. He absolutely is reading something, yes. Those are not his words. That's what he was told to say, which further makes me think it's all bull crap. Because if you were not a snitch, sir, you would be able to just come out and say that. And you wouldn't have to sit there so calm and collected and poised, whatever you want to call it, and read from a script. Like, I'm not no damn snitch, okay? I did so many years in the pen. You think I'm a snitch all of a sudden 50? Is that what you think? Yeah, I would have gone in on 50 if I know I didn't do it. Okay, and then I would have told 50, and another thing, 50, weren't you hanging out with a whole rat by the name of Tekashi 69? Yeah, get at me. Get at me, okay? Because I'm just as petty as 50. So see, I know how to hit him. Okay, I know where to hit him. Please pay attention. 50, I still love you. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, now listen, because this is the one where 50's talking trash in the background.
I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the street.
You trick Cuff off the street, nigga.
I never folded, never told.
You
never
told
did.
Tammy to tell, bitch.
That's before the time, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family.
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up, when Vizzo don't show up? And all these motherfuckers don't show up?
I wasn't gonna address this.
Man, this nigga reading drops, man. Look at you reading this shit.
But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the sign, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family. Come out to the Ahmadiyyah Arena.
He can't even go. You want house arrest, he can't even go.
Now, with that all being said, there will be no 50, okay, blasphemy in here. Kevin says 50 Cent fake as ish. He knew dude been a rat. He never said anything until the public spoke. He even flicked it up with him. He should have said something before, not wait until things blow up. 50's suspect. No, 50's not suspect. Here's the thing. When did the public say it? 50's the one that said it after dude crossed him. And I would have said something too. I don't know if I would have said that, but I definitely would have went in on him. So yeah, I don't see how 50's suspect because he called him out for being fake and fraudulent. I mean, if you're sitting there helping somebody, you're putting money in their pocket and they don't have anything going for themselves once they've done all these years in prison, and then they double cross you and go hang out with your enemy, you're not going to be mad, sir. Yeah, I don't think 50's suspect, sir, but I do think you are. I have several questions, Mr. Kevin H. or Mr. Kevin N. I have 7 questions. You said 50 is fake. 50 is not fake, honey. 50 is one of those people that keeps it real. And that's why people stay mad, because if he was being fake, maybe he wouldn't be busting people out so often. Now, that's just my opinion. We can agree to disagree. Okay? But y'all know I'm Team 50 all the way until further notice. Okay? Until further notice. And here's the thing. Cookie said you can't make this shot up, okay? And here's the thing. Yeah, 50 did, of course, know that he has been known that he's a snitch. People have been saying that about Big Meech for years. Yeah, exactly. They absolutely have been saying that. And here's the thing. Some people think that because a person does years in prison, that proves that they are not a snitch. Let's not forget that Lil Durk is right in jail right now, accused of conspiracy to commit murder and other crimes because a person who he was friends with that did 12 years in prison snitched. So because somebody did time in prison doesn't mean that they're not snitching. You know, some people sit in prison and do a few years and then get tired of sitting there and say, you know what? Maybe I need to start talking so I can get up out of here. I've been sitting here forever. I should have told in the first place. So let me just call my lawyer and let him know that I want to snitch. That's how that goes. So I don't know what y'all be talking about. Now, I don't know if Big Meech snitched or not. And I really don't care. But what I do know is that I'm Team 50. I don't give a damn if 50 knew Meech was a snitch and never said anything until now. See, that's what you're supposed to do. You see, when you have somebody that you have done things for and you may not be sure if they're trustworthy or loyal and you want to test their loyalty, well, it's good to have a little something on them. So if they show that they're not loyal, now you can just drop a bomb on them. Okay, I'm sorry. That's what most people do, sir. That's what most people do. That's what most people do. They keep one in the chamber. Most people don't just sit around and wait for people to get over on them and get away with it and ride off into the sunset scot-free. No, that's not how most of us operate. Most of us, specifically people like me and 50 Cent, who are petty as hell, if you do something to us, we're going to hit you where it hurts the worst. I know that's what I'm going to do. Okay. All right. I'm going to come prepared for battle. Okay. I mean, if I know you got a gun, I'm going to show up with a flamethrower, a rocket launcher, All right, nunchucks, machetes, Chinese stars, you name it. And zip ties to boots. Dressed in full-on body armor is all I'm saying. I'm not playing any games, okay? And neither is 50. Please pay attention. Now, that all being said, you all are all nefarious. Now, y'all are sitting here going along with it and laughing. OG Patrice said, Queen, I cannot with you. Danielle said, Queen about to go ninja on folks, okay? Honey, all I'm saying is if you come for the queen, you best to come correct, okay? That's all I'm saying, okay? And let me just tell you all something. There's a little minion out here. I'm not going to call their name because they want clout, and I'm not going to give it to them. Out here trying to say my name in the little mess they got going, trying to say Queen Ahmadiyyah, like they can't say my name. Girl, please sit down and keep my name out your mouth, okay? I'm not going to give you the attention that you want, but if I decide to give you some attention, I'm going to give you the worst attention that anybody ever gave you in your life. Keep trying me, okay? You know who I'm talking to. All right, I know you're watching. You always are. But all I'm going to say is keep trying. Keep trying to put my name and stuff that I don't have anything to do with, lady. And you're going to be so embarrassed out here on these internet streets because I promise you, I'm sitting here writing down stuff to throw at you if need be. All right? So you've been warned. You've been warned, all right? That's all I'm saying. Now, let's continue. Let's continue. So the ECU, or the SEC, sues Elon Musk, accusing him of withholding info that cost Twitter investors millions. All right, and for anybody wondering, I'm not talking about Wig 2. I see y'all putting Wig 2. No, I'm not talking about Wig 2. I'm not talking about Wig 2. Because Wig 2 doesn't need clout. This person does. This person, they need clout because they don't really have any good commentary. All they do is talk about stuff that goes on YouTube and try to start beefs with people so they can have commentary. That's what they do. They don't want to start a beef with me. They might think they do, but I promise you, that'll be the end of them and their YouTube career if I get on that ace. And I promise you that. Okay, but let's continue. All I'm saying is they better sit down somewhere because they're a whole raccoon. And I got the receipts and I will embarrass the hell out of them is all I'm saying. Okay, I promise you that. And that's on Box. Okay.
Special out in McDonald's.
Entrepreneur and Republican mega donor Elon Musk helped Donald Trump return to the presidency. Well, now the world's richest man is turning his attention to politics in Europe. Here's CBS's Holly Williams.
If you are unhappy with the situation, you must vote for change.
Elon Musk live streamed his talk with the head of Germany's far right-wing anti-immigration party on X, the social media platform he owns. Musk's already endorsed the Alternative for Germany, or AfD, a party officially suspected of extremism by a German court.
I think only AfD can save Germany. And I just want to be very clear about that.
It sparked outrage in a country still wrestling with its Nazi history. Germans decide their country's future, said Chancellor Olaf Scholz, not the owners of social media. Musk has also been posting incessantly on a series of historic rape cases in the UK, involving underage victims and gang members mainly of Pakistani ancestry. The British police have been criticised for not acting quickly enough because of fears they'd be perceived as racist, and right-wing groups have used it to fuel hatred. Several years later, thanks to Musk, it's back on the front page. Musk's posts have resulted in a widely respected British politician, Jess Phillips, fearing for her own safety. She's responded by suggesting Musk hurry up with his mission to Mars.
Elon Musk is a Bond villain. He really is like something out of
a Hollywood movie.
James O'Brien is a talkback radio host here in London who's reported on the rape cases.
Nobody should be listening to Elon Musk's opinions on British politics.
He believes Musk is courting the far right for personal reasons.
He failed to secure the kind of adulation that I think that he craves with his memes and his attempts at comedy, or even with his kind of attempts to be cool. I think it might be that simple.
You think he's doing this just to kind of stroke his own ego?
Why does any troll?
Holly Williams, CBS News, London.
Well, that sounds very plausible to me, because here's the thing. Elon's caught up with what they're doing over there, but what about what's going on over here? Okay, if he's so concerned about what's happening to children, why isn't he talking about the people that are doing those same things to children over here? Well, he's not going to talk about that, is he? Okay, I have several questions. Now, the SEC said that it wants the court to order Musk to pay disgorgement of unjust enrichment as a result of his violation. Okay, because they're saying he violated the Securities and Exchange Commission. They filed a suit on Tuesday. Okay, a lawsuit against Elon Musk alleging the ex-owner misled shareholders about the Twitter stock purchases back in 2022. Now, the suit alleges Musk. Now, here's the thing. Now, this is what I want you all to pay attention to. Let me just give you some background real quick. The thing is, the reason I'm telling you about him being investigated is because this is why Elon Musk is dismantling the government. You see, no matter what these people do, even when they find out things that we need to know or whatever, they have their own ulterior motives for doing these things. So it looks like Elon's going after the USAID and these other government entities because they had him under investigation. Okay, that's what most of us didn't know, because this hasn't been widely publicized. All right, and so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, hold on. Here's what they say. The suit alleges that Musk violated federal securities law, enabling him to purchase shares of Twitter at artificially low prices before his $44 billion takeover of the social media site. Now, this is akin to some of the things they think that he's trying to put himself in position to do while he's collecting this data during these audits. Okay, that's what they said too, that he would have an unfair advantage because he's getting to see all this data and information, and this could give him the edge over any of his competitors. Okay, so that's basically what they're saying that he did before. He was able to purchase shares of Twitter at artificially low prices. Okay, Musk has called the SEC just another weaponized institution doing political dirty work. That's what he called it. Now, Musk started buying shares of Twitter, which he later renamed X, in early 2022. By mid-March, he acquired ownership of more than 5% of the company's outstanding stock, according to the SEC filing. He was required to file a report with SEC disclosing his purchases, but the lawsuit alleges he failed to do so in a timely manner, allowing him to underpay other investors, but at least $150 million for shares they bought during that period. Now, Musk waited until April the 4th of 2022, 11 days after the report was due, to publicly disclose his beneficial ownership in an SEC report, according to the commission. Now, investors who sold Twitter common stock during this period did so at artificially low prices and thus suffered substantial economic harm, according to the SEC's lawsuit. Now, the SEC says that it wants the court to order Musk to pay disgorgement of unjust enrichment as a result of his violation. The SEC is also seeking civil penalties. Now, Musk responded to the news of the suit on X on Tuesday night, calling the SEC a totally broken organization, saying they spend their time on ish like this when there are so many actual crimes that go unpunished. In a statement late Tuesday night, Musk attorney Alex Spiro told CBS that today's action is an admission by the SEC that they cannot bring an actual case because Mr. Musk has done nothing wrong and everyone sees this sham for what it is. Now, in July 2022, Musk tried to pull out of the deal to buy Twitter, but the company sued to hold him to their agreement, and he completed the takeover in October of that year. So he didn't even want to buy Twitter. He tried to pull out of the deal. That's interesting. Now, Musk has tangled with the SEC before. The SEC in 2018 filed a complaint alleging that Musk had misled Tesla investors. Okay, in 2023, the SEC said it was seeking a court order to compel Musk to testify as part of its investigation into his purchase of X. He later testified for the investigation. Now, the SEC lawsuit comes shortly before the chairman, Gary Gensler's planned resignation from the commission. It's not clear if the new administration will continue the suit. President-elect Donald Trump has selected Paul Atkins as the new SEC head. Musk is a prominent Trump backer and Republican donor and has been selected by Trump to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Now, this article came out January the 15th, okay, of 2025. So this came out last month. This is when they were talking about him being under investigation. Right now, they also said that there was apparently other reasons for a conflict of interest. And they said that there's 5 reasons or 5 ways that Elon is working to dismantle the federal government. Musk has mounted a blitzkrieg through the federal government 3 weeks into President Donald Trump's second term, taking over federal infrastructure and feverishly gutting departments in a battle to produce the small government Republicans have long demanded. Now, it's an arrangement like no other in U.S. history. Trump has empowered Musk, the richest man in the world, to take down the federal bureaucracy from within the White House, alongside a group of 20-something lieutenants that make up his so-called Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE. Now, the billionaire tech entrepreneur has installed loyalists into agencies and reveled in the chaos he's created, using the social company he owns, X, to update the nation on his latest targets as the DOGE team moves systematically from one department to another. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, his efforts have created showdowns in court that could ultimately decide whether Trump has the executive authority to dismantle the federal government in the way Musk envisions. Meanwhile, Musk has turned into Democrats' top villain, with lawmakers from the minority party attacking him as much as Trump, as they frantically try to stop the president's agenda. Now, here are 5 ways that Musk has started to dismantle the federal government. Please pay attention. Buyout plan for federal employees. So Trump, guided by Musk and DOGE, has offered buyouts to all 2.3 million federal employees in a push to drastically cut the federal workforce. Now, we already talked about this on yesterday. Now, the Trump administration offered all federal workers 8 months of pay through September in exchange for their immediate terminations. Those who stay in their jobs have been told that they must return to in-person work, embrace new performance standards, and be reliable, loyal, and trustworthy in their work, among other new reforms across the government. Yeah, they don't want people working at home. Elon said that's lazy. Now, the initial offer came in an email titled "Fork in the Road," the same subject line Musk used in 2022 when he gave employees of Twitter a similar ultimatum after purchasing the social media company and later changing its name to X. Okay, and so with that all being said, Musk has a hidden agenda, and I'm going to go to a video in a moment, let you all see exactly what all he's been investigated for. Now, accessing U.S. Treasury data. Under a day 1 executive order, Trump turned an obscure federal agency, the United States Digital Service, into DOGE and instructed department heads to give the new agency full and prompt access to all unclassified agency records, software systems, and IT systems. Now, the Treasury Department gave Musk's team access to the federal system that pays the nation's bills, a move that has prompted widespread concern about his access to personal information and the potential to deny payment to people and entities who expect them. Okay, and so there was a lawsuit filed. A lawsuit from 3 labor groups say DOGE was unable to get access to the system until Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was sworn in, placed in a civil servant who had opposed the access on leave and provided access to Musk and his team. Now, remember that I told you all the USAID is supposedly headed by the Secretary of Treasury. Okay, so anyway, USAID shuttered. Okay, this is another thing they said that he's doing. Okay, as his first department to target, Musk shuttered the U.S. Agency for International Development, the federal agency that oversees foreign aid. And however, a federal judge last Friday halted elements of the shutdown, putting the effort in jeopardy. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of this. Like I said, we already can see what he's trying to do. He's already uncovered a bunch of things. I'm not sure if those things are accurate, but they seem to be. And so that doesn't look good either way. But now we find out that, oh, maybe he had some hidden agenda as to why he was doing this. So let's talk about all the things that he's been being investigated for. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Intentions, and it's not always in your face. They flood the zone and then they do things behind your back. Okay, so watch. This is Crystal Ball, and she's explaining what she believes is an attack on our government by Elon Musk. Here you go.
Elon Musk has decided that he is not going to release all of the financial information about his various conflicts of interest, as he has effectively executed a hostile takeover of our entire government. But we already know a lot about his conflicts of interest. You can see a little bit of what that entails here. You can see Transportation Department is investigating him, the Justice Department, the Labor Department, the Department of the Interior, Department of Agriculture, National Labor Relations Board, and on and on. And as we evaluate what he's been up to and what particular agencies and boards he has taken aim at, we can really start to see a pattern of how all of these things intersect with his own personal financial interests, and really more importantly, and to the point, his interest in consolidating power. So one of the most obvious examples is the CFPB, that's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Elon is trying to position Twitter as an everything app. He just signed a deal with Visa that would allow it to be a payment processor, and as a payment processor was about to be regulated by the CFPB.
Are you listening?
That agency has now been gutted. They've announced they're doing no more enforcement, no more rulemaking. Everything is on hold, and guess what? Now, those payment processors not going to be regulated by the CFPB, but that is far from all. Of course, Elon has taken aim at the USAID. They're effectively gutted at this point. Just so happens they were investigating Starlink, of course, another Elon product, their use in Ukraine. But that also is not all. The National Labor Relations Board, so they've gone after Elon for all sorts of behavior. They regulate workers' ability to organize. They make decisions when there's a dispute between the companies and between the workers. Elon is a famous union buster, strike buster. They've gone after him for retaliating against workers. He sued them, claiming, without much standing, but claiming that the entire board is unconstitutional and trying to dismantle the whole thing. Well, now the National Labor Relations Board has been gutted, and they're not even defending themselves in that lawsuit that Elon Musk's companies have brought against the National Labor Relations Board. The Federal Aviation Administration also Elon has taken aim at. Well, lo and behold, they have investigated him over illegal rocket launches over at SpaceX. Department of Labor was investigating him for allegations of workplace discrimination, including some truly horrific allegations, use of the N-word in the workplace, nooses were somehow involved. Well, lo and behold, the specific department called the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs that was looking into these allegations, well, Trump signed an executive order completely dismantling the whole thing, so guess he's off the hook for that as well. But that's not all. He also looks set to be able to increase the amount that he profits off of taxpayer dollars. He's already gotten some $15 billion into his companies over the years from the federal government, courtesy of you and me, the American taxpayer. Well, he's going to be able to increase that, astronomically. So he's already gotten installed as Air Force Secretary, this guy who had previously greased the skids and effectively rigged the contract process so that SpaceX could get these incredibly lucrative federal government contracts. So there's a lot going on. But the bottom line is this. Elon Musk is the richest person on the planet. He already has extraordinary power. He is claiming and consolidating even more power. And his goal is not efficiency. It's not some noble, small government, small c conservative type of enterprise. He wants to strip the government down so that it cannot compete with him and his power. So it cannot stand in the way of him doing whatever he wants to do. We know from the way he's run his companies that he doesn't care about the law. He will just operate the way he wants to. And the only entity that could really push back was previously the federal government of the United States of America. Elon Musk is hell-bent on making sure that his power will be absolute.
Did you guys hear that?
Okay, did y'all hear that? Okay, so yes, this is all diabolical. So this was his plan from the beginning, from the sounds of it. Okay, so he's not out here trying to find out all this information for the American citizens to put us in the know. He's out here dismantling all of this because they're investigating his arts. Okay, he's no different than Trump. Him and Trump are one and the same, honey. Please pay attention. Reg said it's making lots of sense now. It sure is. Okay, it certainly is. So that all been said, you all pay attention, honey, because we should have known there was something nefarious behind it. I mean, which we clearly did, I'm sure. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about this plane crash, okay? Now, shout out to Lisa Cabrera for sending me that video last night or yesterday. She sent me that video about Elon and all the investigations that he was under. And also shout out to OG Patrice for sending me this information about this plane crash that I find also interesting. Okay, pilot dead and 4 hurt after plane owned by Motley Crue member crashes at Scottsdale Airport. Okay, so let's go to the footage and then we're going to talk about this. Ha! Chris Y said the Joker and the Penguin. Okay, is that who Trump and Elon are? That's a good one, beloved.
The crew on the ground near Frank Lloyd Wright and Scottsdale Road, and we're learning new details about exactly who was on that plane. We start tonight with our Lillian Donahue, who has been on the ground since about 3 o'clock this afternoon, right after that crash. Lillian, what have you learned so far?
Well, finally, after hours, the airport is open back up to planes. We finally saw some planes touching down here on the tarmac. We've been out here for roughly 7 hours today. And, you can see the plane is still out here as crews were investigating for hours later. We know that the National Transportation Safety Board is on the ground investigating, looking into exactly what happened here. This, the moment a Learjet veered off the runway after touching down at Scottsdale Airport. The plane hit a Gulfstream jet and lodged in just behind its right wing.
It appears that the left main gear failed upon landing, resulting in the accident.
Immediately, the Scottsdale Fire Department and other local agencies jumped in. Unfortunately, they found a person dead in the plane. EMS brought 3 other passengers to the hospital with injuries. They helped a 5th person on site who declined further treatment. The fire department also said they had to make sure that this crash didn't threaten anyone else in the area.
We brought in additional hazmat units to clear the buildings, surrounding buildings, and get it all clear in those structures.
Those who work around the airport told me today they heard the tires pop and a loud bang before even realizing the severity of the crash. Everyone who's come by this area tonight, sad to find out someone lost their life.
On behalf of the city of Scottsdale, the Scottsdale Airport, our thoughts and prayers for the individuals on the aircraft. It's certainly a tragedy that occurred.
And Scottsdale's Mayor Lisa Borowski echoed that sentiment along, adding, quote, "We will keep all affected by this tragedy in our prayers. I would also like to thank our first responder community for their quick action and service in this situation. We're, of course, going to keep you up to date throughout our newscast tonight and online." In Scottsdale, Lillian Donahue, Arizona Tonight.
Okay. Well, so, they've been looking into that all last night and found out basically that was, I believe, owned by one of the Motley Crue members. Now, here's what they say. They say 1 person was killed and at least 3 others were injured in Scottsdale, Arizona, after a business jet owned by Vince Neil of the band Motley Crue crashed into another plane as it landed on Monday. Federal Aviation Administration said the Learjet 35A veered off the runway as it arrived at Scottsdale Municipal Airport around 2:45 p.m. It hit a Gulfstream 200 business jet that was parked on private property, according to officials. An airport spokesperson said the left main gear of the small jet failed at landing. Neil wasn't on board the plane, which had departed from Austin, Texas, according to the singer spokesperson. First responders attended to 5 patients, according to Captain Dave Folio of the Scottsdale Fire Department. 1 person was pronounced dead and 3 others were transported to a local hospital. 1 person refused medical treatment. Now, a statement posted posted on social media by Motley Crue said the person killed was the pilot and that Neil's girlfriend and a friend of hers were both on board and were injured. However, that post was taken down and replaced with a statement that did not identify any of the passengers or specify who had been killed or injured. According to that statement, there were 4 people aboard Neil's jet, 2 pilots and 2 passengers. Well, anybody that's alive is lucky to be alive, okay? More specific details regarding the collision are not available at this, as this is a rapidly evolving situation and there is an ongoing investigation. Mr. Neil's thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved, and he is grateful for the critical aid of all first responders assisting today. Now, the National Transportation Safety Board will be taking over the investigation. The PGA Tour's Phoenix Open was held over the weekend in Scottsdale. It is typically one of the busiest times of year for the airport, and there are no commercial flights or airline services at the airport, according to its website, but it is home to many of the region's corporate aircraft. Well, condolences to the family of whomever the person was that is now deceased, and prayers for a speedy recovery for those who were injured. Okay, so that all been said. Every day it's something else. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, did Trump lay off the air traffic controllers, says Joy. Aquarius MC says, sick of these plane crashes. I mean, this is all very strange. What's really going on, right? 4 crashes in 2 weeks. What's going on, says the lovely T. That's all very interesting. Okay, so now with that all been said, I'm about to be out of here. Let's talk about this food spoilage, though, because here's what they report. Here's what they're blaming Trump for. They say nearly $500 million of food aid is at risk of spoilage after Trump USAID cuts. U.S. government auditors find cuts have degraded USAID's ability to distribute and safeguard humanitarian assistance. Okay, now this is what they're saying. The food's going to go bad because they can't get it to the people it needs to be given to. Nearly $500 million of food aid is at risk of spoilage following the decision of Donald Trump and Elon Musk's Doge agency to make cuts to USAID, according to an Inspector General report. Now, and this was released on Monday. Now, following staff reductions and funding freezes, the U.S. agency responsible for providing humanitarian assistance across the world, including food, water, shelter, and emergency health care, is struggling to function. They say recent widespread staffing reductions across the agency, coupled with uncertainty about the scope of foreign assistance waivers and permissible communications with implementers, has degraded USAID's ability to distribute and safeguard taxpayer-funded humanitarian assistance. Now, according to USAID staff, this uncertainty put more than $489 million worth of food assistance in ports, in transit, and in warehouses at risk of spoilage, unanticipated storage needs, and diversion. So USAID employs about 10,000 staff, with approximately 2/3 posted at the agency's more than 60 missions overseas across multiple countries. Now, the entire staff was put on administrative leave on Saturday with limited exceptions. The decision has caused chaos and devastation for those receiving foreign aid, such as Malawi, one of the world's most aid-dependent states. Now, the sweeping freeze on foreign assistance has also made it more difficult to track potential misuse of U.S. taxpayer-funded humanitarian assistance. This is all according to the reports. Now, while the USAID OIG, Office of Inspector General is what OIG stands for, has previously identified groups in the scope of partner vetting, 10 USAID staff have reported the counterterrorism vetting unit supporting humanitarian assistance programming that it has in recent days been told not to report to work because staff have been furloughed or placed on administrative leave and thus cannot conduct any partner vetting. Now, the agency requires that programs in Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Pakistan, Yemen, Syria, the West Bank, and Gaza be vetted to ensure safe usage of U.S. taxpayer funds. However, a lack of workers to vet the programs could lead to funding unintentionally being funneled into terrorist organizations, according to the report. Well, from what they're saying that Elon found, isn't this what they were already doing, supposedly? Funding terrorist groups? Because that's what it sounded like, okay? So no surprise there. What do you all have to say about all this? This sounds like this whole government is in an uproar. Okay, a bunch of unnecessary bullshit going on from the sounds of it. Truth Note TV says homeless people in USA can eat it. Well, here's the thing. They'd rather let it go bad than give it to homeless people in the U.S. Because the thing is, do they really care about homeless people in the United States? They don't. Do you know they could actually eradicate homelessness in this country if they would take the money that they're giving to outside entities, to foreign entities and stuff, if they would take some of that money and spend it trying to get more shelters and more resources for homeless people, specifically homeless veterans who fought for this country, disabled veterans. I mean, they could literally do it. They don't care to do it. They make it illegal to panhandle. Okay, in many states, they also, want to lock people up for being homeless, just because. Okay, and then in some cases, you're not even allowed to give the homeless food. Remember that elderly pastor who was like 90-something years old, was out there feeding the homeless home-cooked meals, and they came and locked him up. There was another lady who owned a restaurant, was giving away food to the homeless, and they came, confiscated her food, and poured bleach on it to make sure that nobody took it out of the dumpster and gave it to these people. This is kind of stuff they do in this country, but they want to act like they're so full of humanitarians that they want to go to foreign lands and try to help them out with humanitarian assistance. Like, they could dismiss me with it. This country is so full of crap. Okay, this country is so full of crap. And yes, they absolutely could give that food to the homeless people here. Do you think they're going to do that? No, they'd rather let it spoil so then they have something to complain about. That's how that works. Okay, that's how that works. So here's the thing. They want to sit up here, all of these politicians, Democrats and Republicans, they want to sit up here and say that Trump is doing stuff, causing problems, so then he can come in and solve the problem and get the credit for it. Well, yeah, of course, that's likely what he's doing, but that's what they all do. This is what they all do. The Democrats do it too. They create problems, okay, when we have pandemics, and then they come out here with venom. That's just my opinion. So I'm sorry, what? See, this is what I keep telling you all, that they sit there and point the finger and say, oh, these people are doing this, but it's the same thing that they themselves are doing. All of these people are just shady as hell. Quite frankly, I'm just over it at this point. We should not be surprised, shocked, or in awe of anything that any of these politicians or wannabe politicians do, because Elon Musk is no politician. Okay, we don't just get to make him a politician because Trump gave him a fake office to run. Okay, because he just made up something out of the thin air. And at the end of the day, the thing is, Trump is doing some things that are absolutely illegal, and so is Elon Musk, but they don't care. Because Elon feels that he's going to be shielded by Trump, and Trump feels that he can do whatever the hell he wants because they've now said that presidents can't be arrested while they're in office, even if they're in the office committing crimes. Okay, so this is what we got. This is what we got. It's all nefarious. Courtney J says, those are the facts, Queen. Okay, thank you, beloved. Rachel said, I'm so over it. I am too. Okay, I am too. At the end of the day, Cookie said, Queen, facts. He ain't running this country. Sure isn't. So that all been said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Honey, don't forget to stock up on your non-perishable food items. Okay, get your bottled waters, your generators and all of that. First aid kits, people that you can barter with, and all of that. Y'all know we got to be prepared. We got to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. Okay, and remember to have something to protect your home and domicile, because I guarantee you, when people run out of things that they desperately need, you already know crime's going to be at a whole new high. Okay, because they're going to be trying to kick in doors to get what they need, because some people aren't going to prepare for the hard times that are coming. Those who aren't prepared, they'll be out here, trying to rob and steal. That's what they'll be doing. Please pay attention. All right. So anyway, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives, and keep your notifications on, because I may be back later on today. You never know. All right. So with that all been said, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther. shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got